to do it. Hey, welcome to Classic Car Garage, the Classic Car Restoration How-To Television Show. We're glad you could join us. This thing will run a little bit better, put some spark plug wires on there. Coming up on today's show, we're going to do a little bodywork basics with you. Tom's over right now with our project car, our 56 Chevy Sedan delivery. Jim Richardson's going to stop by with his Eastwood Resto tip. And we've got Viewer's Car of the Week and some neat new products at the end of the show, too. Well, Tom's over here right now getting set to do some bodywork basics. What do you say we go over and join him? Hey Tom, how you doing?
Great, Jeff. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again too. Well, we're ready to start now pulling out some of the other dents here in our project car, and we sort of did things the old-fashioned way, but really the basic way, the way most of our viewers would do it with the basic body tools. But this is a little thing that I like to call cool tools because you do have some of the coolest tools in town, and we're going to show people really a high-tech way right now to take this little dent out. Now, that's not a terribly big dent there, is it?
No, it's not. And because this is a little difficult to get to in the back, I've got a really neat tool that I wanted to show you on how to simply remove that dent.
Right, and because behind this door there's another wall there of sheet metal, you can't get in there and pick this out. So
right.
We basically, our choice, the old way would have been to, what, drill a hole in there and actually pull that out. Now that's creating another problem that you got to fix.
Yeah.
And there is a tool that the Eastwood company sells where you can weld a little pin on there and, you know, just pull it out just like that too, which is an okay way. But again, we use cool tools here at Classic Car Garage. And Tom, tell us about this cool tool over here. This is from the ARC company, right?
This is from ARC for short. This is not only a resistant spot welder, but it is a dent removal tool too. It is self-contained, so you can wheel it around wherever you want it to go. And it's great for doing what we're going to do here.
Take this where the work is rather than bringing the work to where this is. So what's the first thing we want to do to get started on this?
Well, the first thing we want to do is, I showed you how we strip the paint on the fender using the acid
chemical strip.
Yeah, chemical strip. Now we only want to strip a small area here because we're going to do the chemical strip on the rest of the car.
Right.
But this is a really neat tool. This is made by Worth USA, and it's called Metal Blaster. And what it's going to do is, it's a stainless steel wire brush up here, and it just simply removes the area that I needed to get to, because it has to be bare metal. I need to get contact on there, and I'll show you if you want.
These are some pretty severe blades there.
That's right.
Or tines, so I'm going to stand back while you strip that part off of there.
Okay, great.
Okay, we can really see where that dent is now. It looks like the point of impact was right there.
That's right.
So this is the part that you're going to pull out now. Does this dent extend out into this area, or is this primarily right there?
That's our primary dent, and we've got some secondary damage up into here. We're gonna work on the primary, and it should pull the secondary right out.
Okay, so the next thing is to use the ARC tool, right?
That's right. We've got 2 points on this that are important. One is the magnet.
Right.
This is my negative part. We've stripped an area here where the magnet will go, and this simply grounds the machine. And then the other one is this part of it, which there's no, there's no discharge of power here. And we're going to put it on here, and we're going to remove the dent.
So you're actually going to weld this to the door.
This actually spot welds right on here, and we pull the dent right out.
Pull it out. So that was pretty good. That's what one of the cool tools actually does.
That's right.
So there you have it, cool tools on Classic Car Garage. When we come back, we're going to continue with the body work on our 56 Chevy. Don't go away, there's more to come. Well, that's really starting to look pretty good there. Well, we're going to continue with the body work on our 56 here in just a couple of minutes, but before we do that, let's go on out and visit with Jim Richardson. He's got his Eastwood Resto tip today on planning your restoration. Jim?
That's right, Jeff. If you don't plan and document your restoration, it's a little like going into a cave without a ball of twine. You're soon going to get lost in there. Now, some other things you're going to need if you're going to do a good restoration are some general hand tools. We got ours from Craftsman. And there's some specialty tools that can make the job a whole lot easier. We got those from the Eastwood company. This is a blasting cabinet for removing rust, a Baldor high-speed buffing wheel for cleaning stainless steel and getting it to look bright again. And we got a MIG Pac-10 welder that runs off 110 household current. But the most important tool you can have in your tool chest, believe it or not, is a camera. A picture is worth 1,000 words. 6 months from now, you're not going to remember how that voltage regulator was wired. So if you've got a photo, you can put it back the way you want it. Not a problem. Now let me show you a couple more things on planning and documenting your restoration on my little 58 Chevy Apache pickup here. Now there's a certain order to doing a restoration at home. We stripped this car down by taking the front clip off and taking the bed off so we could get to the chassis and clean and detail that. Then we did the shock absorbers, the springs, the brakes, the suspension, cleaned it, detailed it, overhauled it. We set our engine back in. Next we're going to do the paint and body, and we're going to finish with the interior work. The reason you want to do it in that order is because if you do your cosmetics first and then try to do the mechanical, you're going to mess up your paint job. Another nice trick is when you're taking a car apart, bag and tag all the little parts so you know where they go and what they are. You don't want to just throw them in a bucket. That'll make a big mess. Now, years ago, I did an old Packard and I kept this notebook. I did sketches and kept notes and that kind of thing. But there's a much easier way these days, and that's to get yourself one of these project car restoration planners. Right here on the front, you have the year, make, model, engine, etc. All that's there. And inside, you have sleeves for your photographs. You have your, under the chassis category, for instance, the date you did things, the part description, the hours put in, and the dollars, and totals at the bottom. There's chassis, running gear, body, all the different aspects of a car, drivetrain. And here at the back, we have envelopes for your receipts. Now this kind of documentation is very important for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you go to sell this car years from now, you can show a prospective buyer all the work you did and all the money and time you put into the vehicle. Also, the IRS is going to be interested because let's say you pay it $1,000 for the vehicle and you're selling it for $10,000. They're going to see that other $9,000 as pure profit unless you can prove otherwise. Remember, documentation and planning are important to every restoration. This is Jim Richardson. Until next time, saying good luck with your restoration.
Welcome back to Classic Car Garage. Well, Tom, we're back here now at the back of the car where we've got a little bit of rust damage here. And you were using the center punch here actually to check for the rust, weren't you? Mm-hmm. How does it work?
Well, it pokes on the metal, and where it's weak, it's going to go right through the metal.
It's going to poke right through there. It's just like that hole you just made.
We've got a little bit of rust down here on both sides, as you can see, and we want to determine how far up I need to make this patch.
And it looks like, as far as rust goes, we're in pretty good shape here. It only comes up to about that far, right?
That's what it looks like so far. I can't get it to poke through any of this up here.
Right. Now, this is a 56. This is pretty heavy sheet gauge metal. This is a center punch you can get at your hardware store. Yep. Don't try this in your modern car, by the way, because it will punch right through it. This was thick steel on this stuff. Okay, so you've determined that this is where the rust is down here. We've got a couple of dings up here, a dent here and a dent here. Is that going to affect where you cut the sheet metal out?
Not really. I'm going to, you know, if the rust panel has to be put up above it, obviously we're going to take care of those dents that way. But when I start to put in my patch, we're going to get a hammer and dolly into that and rough work all that dents and dings out of there anyway.
Okay, so now that we've determined that this is where the rust is, you're going to maybe draw a little template where you want to cut out?
Actually, I'm going to do that right now with a magic marker. Right, it looks like we're going to come about an inch above the area that I was center punching. So then I know I'm into nice, solid, strong metal. Mm-hmm. These little detail areas, we don't want to disturb these areas. And this patch will be butt welded on with a MIG welder. Actually, the MIG welder we have here. And then I don't have to remake any of this.
Right.
It's a pretty complicated little piece of metal there.
This little lip here. So only cut out the bad part. Mm-hmm. Give yourself a little extra room up here too. Mm-hmm. Okay, Tom, I'll let you get to cutting that out with your die grinder.
Great.
Okay, Tom, so you've got the sheet metal cut out there. It's just about ready to twist off, right?
Yep.
Let's see how easy it comes off there.
see it's kind of rusty on the back.
All right, well that wasn't too bad at all.
Nope.
All right, so now we're ready to make our new patch panel. And when we come back here on Classic Car Garage, we've got a really cool tool to show you. So don't go away. Welcome back to Classic Car Garage. Well, here's one of the cool tools I wanted to tell you about. This is called a sheet metal brake. Some people call this a finger brake, Tom, because if you get your fingers in here, it'll definitely break them. Safety, of course, always keep your fingers away from the working surfaces. What this does is this actually forms 90-degree angles with your sheet metal. Tom, let's show them how it works here.
All right.
What you want to do is you can see these fingers come up here. You put your sheet metal in there and then lock it down. I'll lock this side down. And then you simply just grab this and pull up, right? And that's going to make whatever angle that you want. If we take that out of there now, you can see that we have made this angle. Again, it's called a sheet metal. This is a pan and box brake, or these are removable fingers. Could be called a finger brake because if you take these fingers out, you can actually make boxes with it. But we've got another cool tool, Tom. I want to show the folks right here. We want to introduce to everybody at home Kent from TM Technologies. Kent, how are you?
How do you do, Jeff?
Very nice to meet you.
Very good to be here.
Now, Kent White is a gentleman who has quite a history in the past. He was the restoration manager specializing in the Pebble Beach entry for the Harrah's Automobile Collection, right?
Yes, in 1976 and 77, I was responsible for the Pebble Beach entries.
So you know a little bit about this sort of equipment. Actually, he knows a lot about this equipment. Kent, TM Technologies makes this piece of equipment here that we're using sort of like an English wheel. First of all, what's this called?
This is an air shaping and planishing hammer. A lot of people think of an air hammer as planishing only, but because of my need for a simple, reliable, powerful device in 1987, I built this in order to shape 18-gauge steel. In other words, put shape into the panel. Not just smooth, which is what planishing does, but serious shaping.
So you can create several radiuses with this.
Yes, this is very flexible. The tooling we have designed enables you to do copper, stainless, brass, aluminum, or steel in different thicknesses, and the die combinations are basically up to you and your creativity.
Now, this is something that people can buy from TM Technologies all put together like this, but you also sell this as a kit too, right?
Yes, we sell bits and pieces, we sell plans. If you want to make one yourself, the plans are very inexpensive, 35 bucks. You can buy a basic die set, you can buy dies individually, you can buy the whole killer deluxe model if you want.
And here are some of the dies that we were talking about right here. These come with this kit. Dies for all different uses, it looks like.
There are many, many uses for these dies. We have sinking die here. This combination enables you to work a part down. This die here is for shrinking your steel. This is a very unusual combination here. When we use this one coupled with its mate, it will shrink steel. We have a aluminum set here. These will shrink aluminum. The combinations of these will do different hardnesses. The elastic die or rubber die here will smooth, and it will also stretch thin metals. The heavy leather die here will aggressively raise without leaving hammer marks. If you want to raise very high crown suddenly, you'd use the number 4 lower die. Here's a step die that enables you to raise and lower the dies if the air unit's a little different. We have many die combinations, and I've been able to shrink 16-gauge steel and 1/8-inch aluminum with this.
Now, we didn't throw away the old piece from our project car over here. I want you and Tom to explain to our viewers at home and show us how that we're going to form this particular piece of sheet metal to weld back in there. Actually, it's 2 pieces, isn't it?
Yes, this would be a great idea. In order to keep the car's appearance correct, we have a little seam here, and this was just filled with a flexible seam sealer and then painted over. If we made this out of one piece, someone would think, A, you bonded it up, B, it was soldered up, C, it was MIG welded up. Either way, anyway, it would not be correct. So, we would like to make this out of each side. So we'll start out with a little piece representing one side, and I just cut these to rough sizes. Then, this could even fit over on this side. I mean, this is how rough we made it. So the air hammer would be ideal, and I think the flexibility is perfect for this little part. This hammer will make large parts, but also little tiny pieces like this can save you a lot of work.
All right. Well, Tom, Kent, let's see you get to work on this, and
right.
let's see you shape this sheet metal. Show the folks at home how this piece of equipment works.
Yeehaw!
The fun part begins.
Okay, what I've done is I've set up this as steel on steel, and the heavier air unit of the two. We have two air units with us today. We have a lighter air unit for planishing. We have a heavier air unit here for doing our shaping. So what I'd like to do is, if Tom would hold this, we have a little bit of crown in the middle of this. I'd like to put this in and just raise up the crown very quickly.
Well, Kent, these are beginning to look pretty good. You've done quite an incredible job there. With a little more work with the hand tool, we've got it, right?
By golly, they'll turn in right on the button.
They're going to look exactly perfect. Well, if you want more information on the air and planishing hammer, or the little powerhouse over here as we call it, you can log on to our website, Classic Car Garage. Click on the Cool Tools page and you'll see it right there, or call the number on your screen right now. Now, while Kent finishes this patch panel, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we've got your new product segment. Stay with us.
In this week's Viewer's Garage is the '69 Roadrunner Convertible, owned by Chuck Smith of Yorba Linda, California. It's got the 383 in it with an automatic. It's a rare car. Chuck restored it himself, and he likes to drive it to shows, where he usually picks up a trophy. Hey, Chuck, thanks for the pictures. If you've got a classic you want us to see, send your pictures to Classic Car Garage, and you just might see it here on TV.
Hey, welcome back to Classic Car Garage. Before we leave you today, we've got a couple of new products we want to show you. Hey, take a look at this. We've really dressed up the seats on our Ford Expedition here with these comfy sheepskin seat covers from the Comfy Sheepskin Seat Cover Company of Los Angeles, California. Finest quality. These are from Australia. And we put these on the car because, of course, they keep things warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and, of course, they keep the seats looking brand new. We turn in our car, these seats are going to be perfect. These are lined so they pick up the dirt, keep things clean, and they come in a variety of different styles and colors to suit every need, from 1931 automobiles all the way up to the present, and of course in a variety of colors, as you can see right here. They either come ready-made or custom fit. They will actually tailor this seat cover to fit your car perfectly. Now, they retail for about $175 for the pair, on up to about $450 depending upon your application. Once again, from the Comfy Sheepskin Cover Company in Los Angeles, California, they are well worth it. Now I want you to come on inside because we've got another new product to show you. Well, if you want the ultimate in strength and style, take a look at this. This is the Big Daddy Don Garland Signature Edition toolbox from Delson Products in Brea, California. Boy, is this thing rugged. It's made of 14-gauge steel. The top of it's 3/16. I mean, this is so strong you could build an engine up here. Also, talk about storage space. Over 76,000 square inches of storage between the 7 drawers over here that come complete with these cutouts to keep your tools in. And of course, the cabinet down below here, as well as this one up here, both of which lock. And the open shelves over there too, and this is another thing I like about it too, it's powder coated, so this thing's going to last forever. From Delson Products in Brea, California, they thought of everything. Take a look at this. You can even turn on your light here so you've got some lighted area to work, an AC outlet. You can even attach your compressed air right here so that you have compressed air right up here on your work surface where you need it. Now, this sells for $5,795, but Delson Products, they are the makers of these pit carts. They've got some that are smaller than this, lesser, and of course some that are a little bit bigger too. Basically, whatever you need, if they don't have it, they'll build it for you. Well, that's just about all the time we've got for you on today's Classic Car Garage. We hope you've enjoyed the continuing restoration of our '56 Chevrolet Sedan delivery. Till next week, for Tom and Jim, I'm Jeff Shade. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week right here on Classic Car Garage.